Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. Out at the range today with heavy metal. Used folks that have been asking for 300 Win Mag content. Today is where we get back into 300 Win Mag. So long story short, I am going on a mule deer chasing trip this season and I'm taking 300 Win Mag. So assuming all goes well today, this is gonna be the primary rig I take out there chasing mule deer. But what we got, this is our first trip to the range with my Howa 1500 that I just bought. This is in 300 Win Mag. And yeah, I'm optimistic that this is going to be an awesome rig and then we'll get it to group good. But if you didn't see the video, I recently made a video titled something to the effect of top 5 budget friendly deer rigs, and the Howa 1500s made that list. They're super affordable. And yeah, every single one that I've had my hands on could fling the boo lots good. But like I said, I bought this one the other day, 300 Win Mag. I needed a 300 Win Mag, especially a threaded one. I've got my banished backcountry on this today. That is a 7-ounce 30 cal shusher machine right there. So if you're looking for a lightweight can, banished backcountry. But let me show you this whole rig here. We're gonna get back to 100. The whole purpose of this video is to do our first flings with this Howa 1500 in 300 Win Mag and get it sighted in, ready for catching some mule deer. But let me show you everything up close here, what we're working with today. So up top, this is my very first time messing with Arkin Optics. Show you how that's spelled right there, Arkin Optics. This is their EP5, 5 to 25 by 56. So pretty big optic, huh? And it's in mils or MRAD, but it's got the turrets. Be good if we have to do some dials and do some long distance stuff. Also, this is going to be a good one for us to take out to 1,000 yards and do some long range testing. But this Howa 1500 has got the Hogue kind of rubberized grip. A lot of things people don't realize too, these have the sub MOA guarantee that, quite frankly, a lot of others don't, especially in this price range. What I brought out to sight it in, Remington core lock tip. You guys that watch the show know I'm a fan of this stuff. And this is loaded in 180 grain projectiles. I brought these out just to show you. Those rings I've got on here, 34 millimeter tube. These are the Arkin Halo rings. That's what I put on there. Made super careful, torqued everything on here to spec, so that won't be an issue. And I told you, I got my banished backcountry 30 cal can on there. But let's go back to the bench, get it bore sighted, then we'll go back to 100 yards and get it sighted in and see how it likes this core lock tipped 180 grain. I gotta remember to cut these tags off before we get to slinging them, but this is how I sight everything in. I've been doing it for years. You guys that watch the show have seen me do it before, but I got my laser bore sighter on the end. It's a magnet. I get it centered on the barrel the best I can, level on top of the scope if it's a flat one. And at 10 yards, I draw 2 dots on that paper plate. I'll show you in a second, but the top dot is what I turn the turrets and align my scope to. And the bottom dot is where I have the laser aimed. Let me go show you that real quick. So just to show you, there's my laser bore sighter. See, I've got that laser on there, centered on there the best I can figure. Then at 10 yards, this is what I do. So I have the scope turret aimed at that in the bench vise and the laser down here. You can see these are hits from when I sighted in something else. I think that's 360 buck hammer or something. But just to give you the gist of how I sight stuff in. Now, I'm not even going to take a test fire on this one. We're going to go ahead and go back to 100. And it should be pretty close to it on paper. All right, now back at 100 yards. Let me show you what this core lock tip stuff looks like. That green pointed tip. It's been a minute since I had 300 Win Mag out. That's a beefy little round there, isn't it? But like I said, 180 grains. I just put 3 in the top loader. Let's see what we can do with it. If you're not familiar with arcing, like I said, I've never had one. This is my first time trying one, but so far I like it, and they're definitely on the budget friendly end, especially with all the doodads and whatnot you get with it. Set the parallax, it's at 100, not 25. Oh yeah, like this reticle too, it's got a dot in it, but let's see where we're at. I'm gonna hold that center. Hopefully we're on good enough to be on paper. Then we'll adjust it from there and try to do some groups. The triggers on these, pretty good for the beans that you're forking out for them. Not crazy awesome, but right out of the box, I say pretty good for what you're forking out. So I'm gonna squeeze for that middle one, see what we get here. All right, so our bore sight was pretty good. We're about 1 inch left and 1, 2, 3 inches high. So let me make that adjustment here. Need to come down. Which way's down? Aha, up is that way, down is that way. And then it's left, so we need to go right. So right ought to be that way. Oh, we did the right and left perfect, didn't we? We just need to come down about another inch. So it's 2 up, we need to come down. Which way's down? Down is that way. 4 clicks down. Now, some of y'all's probably losing your mind. Oh, you got to do a group before you adjust it. It'll be all right. Let's send one. Actually, let's just go ahead and start on a new target. Let's go to the top right there, and we'll do a 3-shot group from here. It ought to be close. All right, we're in there. Let's send 2 more. I know this thing's got to be heating up. It's also the one negative of this Howa 1500 and 300 Win Mag. It is a pretty thin barrel. I actually tried to sight this in yesterday, but the threads on this to put the shusher on there are the same thread pattern as a 223. The normal 5/8 thread doesn't fit this because the barrel's so thin. I had to go get the correct adapter for my can. But let's send 2 more into that same and just see how we group overall. Not bad. Working on about a 1/2 inch group so far, it looks like. I'm gonna finish this group, then we'll let it cool and I'll try another group or 2. So far, so good though. It's definitely heating up though. Light barrel, I mean, that makes it lighter though, right? So I guess it really depends on what you're looking for. I tend to prefer a heavier barrel. Oh yeah, that put them in the same hole. Definitely a winning combination here. I'm gonna let this cool 5-10 minutes, and then I'll come back and we'll do another group or 2. But so far, hey, I dig this whole rig. It puts them in the target like that. I can't complain. All right, here we go. Let's do 2 more groups. I didn't let it get room temperature. It's still a tiny bit warm, but cool enough to where I can sit here and grab it. Let's do 2 more groups of 3. This is my new rest I've been using. It's the Caldwell Lead Sled DFT2. But especially for sighting stuff in, I like using the rest. Let's do the bottom left. Send 3 on the bottom left of that target. Good squeeze there. I'm gonna come a couple clicks down after this group. just so it's perfect bullseye. Hey yo, this is more data that confirms my top 5 budget-friendly deer catching machines. This Howa 1500, 300 Win Mags, putting them in there. You don't got to spend $1 million to get sub MOA these days. Good squeeze. Hey, that's a 1/2 inch group all day long. And we're doing it with a cheapo Howa 1500 that people want to poo-poo on. Big piece of that's the ammo too. That core lock tip is good stuff, but up is this way, it's up, so we need to go down. I'm gonna bring it down. Let's go 3 clicks. And let's do another group of 3. Not gonna let it cool. I'm trying to tell you, I've been telling people, don't sleep on the Howas. It's good stuff. But I mean, this is really a good hunting rig. It's got that rubberized stock, and since you didn't spend a fortune on it, you're not afraid to take it out in the woods and lug it around and get it dinged up. And that's what we'll be using it for mule deer. So bullseye. Hey, it don't get any better than that, fellers. That's right where I aimed. Let's see if we can get the best group, put them all in the same hole. That's what I like. Group's so small we can't even hardly measure it. Same hole. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Definitely getting some mirage off that can, but not bad enough to where I can't see where I'm aiming. Good squeeze. Oh yeah, that's definitely under 3/4 of an inch. Hey, exactly what I wanted to see. Core lock tipped, 300 Win Mag, 180 grain, Howa 1500 and 300 Win Mag, super cheap, Hogue stock, banished backcountry light shusher. Let's go measure those with the calipers. I am impressed. All right, so walking up to our target here, that was our first hit after the bore sight then was here. Then I went ahead and said, let's just do a group of 3. 1 here, and then 2 in the same hole. After that, we let it cool. Came down here, almost 3 touching. These cubes are 1 inch, so that's probably just a shade under 1/2 inch. That one's right on the line, that one's pretty in the middle. I'm about to measure these. And then this one, that for sure is 3 touching. And if you look, the midline of this square, it's inside, and these are definitely inside the midline of that square. So that's probably a 0.3, 0.4 inch group. Let me go measure them with the calipers. I am impressed with this combination. Look out, mule deers. All right, here we go, guys. Official results. First group of 3 was a 0.65 inch group right there with 2 in the same hole. Then we came down here after letting it cool. I did 3 right here. I was talking about the groups this way. I kind of forgot to account for them going up and down, didn't I? But still, that's a 0.52 inch group right there. And then I did just about the same right here. I thought this was going to be a 0.3 judging left to right, but up and down, it's a little bit wider. 0.49 inch group right there. That is doing pretty good. Hey, 300 Win Mag, core lock tipped, 180 grainers. I'm telling you, I've been telling people, do not sleep on these Howa 1500s. A lot of people want to poo-poo on them because they don't cost a whole lot of monies. But you can do this with cheap stuff off the shelf. These Arkin optics, they are definitely in the budget-friendly category. Ammo off the shelf, that core lock tipped. I don't remember anything not liking core lock tipped. And then, of course, I always recommend torque everything. I spent quite a bit of time leveling this optic, torquing every single screw on the mounts, torquing the action bolts down here, making sure that the scope was tight, but off the shelf, budget friendly 300 Win Mag, off the shelf ammo. And we're averaging 1/2 inch groups all day long without hardly even trying. I love it. All right, there you have it, guys. I really don't need to say much. Whoa, the groups speak for themselves, but 300 Win Mag, fresh out of the box, no adjustments, still had the tag on it. Howa 1500 with the Hogue stock, just about as budget friendly as you can get. And we're averaging 1/2 inch groups. Now, there's a lot that goes into that. Like I said, we got a nice Arkin on here, but then again, the Arkins are not that expensive either. This was pretty close to what the same cost of these Howa 1500s are. And then we put the 180 grain core lock tips in there. But when you get a combination like this, grouping 1/2 inch groups, hunting boo lots and a hunting cheap bang bang, you really don't need to do too much searching. We might hand load for this here for fun coming up. So stay tuned if you're into that. Stay tuned if you're into the hunting stuff. We're gonna be chasing mule deer with this rig. And this thing's a laser, no doubt. So if we can find them, I think we're gonna drop a mule deer. But hey, appreciate y'all watching. Make sure you're following us everywhere. Make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter on hootyhoo.com. We're doing giveaways and stuff over there. Make sure you're subscribed to the Hooty Hoo channel. Comment down below. What do you think about the Howa 1500s? Arkin Optics, Remington Boulots. And yeah, takes the recoil out of 300 Win Mag and some of the sound with that shusher on there. Appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you on the next one. Hooty hoo!